man, I get so weirded out sometimes by things that people say. It's so strange. Um, and also, by the way, I just want to put this out there. I'm kind of starting to feel like the night is just a separate reality. I feel like it's just a different reality. And my nights are so much different than they used to be. I'll tell you that. So, but this whole general area is so, I don't know what's going on here. Because even, my mom said they get the sun over, I mean, some people think it's a sun. I don't know. I keep trying to say it, but is it a silver disc? Like, can you look at it? Can you, put some film up and look and see? Is it just a round circle up there that's silver and shiny? So, anyways, here it just keeps being so weird. Like, I swear to God, I feel like they tent us. There's like this weird atmosphere. And even if like the other day they brought out that disc out, and it just right away made everything super foggy. I really I imagine that they turn it on, to heat it up, and it starts doing something to the atmosphere. And that maybe is why they don't. Like, we're super close to the ocean. Maybe that's why we don't get it all the time. But if it ever is, it's always out there by the ocean. So I don't know. Really have no idea what the hell's going on. Because, it should go over and then it should sunset, but it goes in one place, and it goes across. I don't know. It's just, it makes no sense. And, but one of the things too is what was I going to say? I had a whole bunch of things coming into my head at once. So, when I talk about like these petri dishes, right, were just all experiments. Like, they have localized experiments happening. So say this city is getting all this chemical, and they're getting this in their water, and then their stores are getting a lot of stuff from whatever place. Like, these people are sophisticated, how they get these different poisons in different areas, and they're paying attention. Like I said, if you go into the hospital and like 100 people go in for the same thing, they don't come in and tell you that. Maybe you have had some fluky nurse that came in and said, "Oh, I've got several patients with this," or something. It's not likely, but there's some, but what happens normally is they send it to the Center of Disease Control, and then it's passed on. Like I said the other day, they just pass on. And since now we know how corrupt all of these different three-letter organizations are, it's like, oh, so you're overseeing it? The corruptors are overseeing the other corruptors. It's like, oh, that sounds like a great system. And but so I just heard some sad news yesterday that in the Netherlands that they are being hit with this super advanced HIV, of course, because we know what the fraud she did with those. We already heard about it. What was put into some of those. It just makes me so... That guy's fucking little troll face. I swear. Anyways, let me just finish. So in the Netherlands now, that they have got a huge increase of this very aggressive HIV that turns into AIDS really quick and kills you. Because they love the Ebola. I don't know why they didn't spread that. I think they've tried really hard, but maybe it's a lot harder to spread it because it's so fast. But, that's one of their scarier creations. But the HIV one, any of this stuff going on, you just got to make it to the med beds, I swear. We just got to hold out. We just got to get through this part. And when we get to the med beds, then, that is something with the frequency and stuff that you can go in there. And I swear to God, I try it all the time, like for my own self, like just focus on healing things and stuff. And I don't know why it won't work. Like I said before, I don't know if my magic was taken away from me. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong. Like, I don't know. But, like my joints and stuff, I feel it's just poison. And like I told my mom yesterday, it's just, I'm not going out around people. So what would make me get sick? It's got to be what's coming into my house. It's got to be in the food. It's got to be in the, because the water, I don't even drink their water anymore. I shower and bathe in it. And I don't even think it's good to, I honestly, I put those stuff in there to try and pull stuff out, but, I'm sitting in a vat of toxins. So it's very frustrating, but, I don't know. There's nothing we can do about it right now. I try and think like, how could I get healthier food? How could I get healthier food? And the smartest people were the ones who right away started moving out and going off grid and started planting gardens and really making moves. When I moved out here, I thought I was doing that. I didn't know that I wasn't gonna be able to grow my own food. I didn't know, I used to do a little research. I didn't know that the pine trees were so acidic and to the soil, and plus, I knew some things needed more sun, but with the low sun and the acidic soil, it's just kind of, I still have to get food from other places until I'm hoping to expand this world of mine. I want to turn this place into a place that other people can come and enjoy too. Like a Airbnb kind of place or something. Not Airbnb per se, but, a place where people can come here and travel and have a week or a weekend or, a couple weeks or whatever. There's so much to do up here. And then have other places too. So I will get to my pure food somehow. We're all going to have to. There's not going to be any choice at some point, because we're going to have to become more self-sufficient if we're not relying on the corporation. And so many people are going to really, fall apart when that happens, because they're not going to know how to do any of that stuff. I can't believe how many people just don't know how to do anything. But, I was in school still when they were giving us some skills. I heard yesterday somebody saying that everything changed for this our generation group here in this reality, that when JFK was killed, because he was moving us into this other arena where Trump is trying to move us into right now. And you can see, like, it's fucking danger zone, man. They're trying to get us into a jubilee, get us out of the banking system, and give us our freedom, most people don't even realize that they're slaves to a system. They don't realize they're slaves to a bank. They just, they just feel defeated all the time. Like, why can't I make it in this world? What's wrong with me? And it's like, well, this world is not here for you to make it in. This world is here to suck the life out of you. You're an energy source. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck if you make it. They don't give a flying fuck. What else was I going to say? It was something with the sicknesses was making me, I had another thing that was coming into my head. No, maybe it'll come back to me. But another thing too. So yesterday, I'm going to share this TikTok on here. Because the thing is too, with TikTok, everybody seems like who's on TikTok, they are just looking to feel good, kind of. They're just wanting a distraction. Like TikTok is like Tinder or something. Like swipe, swipe, swipe. Get a little charge, get a little excitement, swipe, get a little charge. So, they're not really looking, like I've said before, people who come onto YouTube, they're looking for more information. They're looking for more, a lot of communities get built and stuff. Like people start becoming friends with other people in comments and stuff. I see it all the time. People start building communities. And they're looking for something, they're not just looking for a distraction, they're looking for something. And so it's just kind of a different group of people. I know that there's some crossover, some people come from TikTok, but the TikTok I'm talking about, just TikTok, is very just, it's almost mindless. Even my daughter, who, is on there now all the time, the one who did the video of me, she said that she can barely get through a 10-second video anymore. She swipes like right away. And that's what it does. It does something to your brain. And then, just like Facebook, how it created all of these people who were so desperate. They started creating these, oh, look, I have this great life. I have this great life, And then it's just very toxic. The whole thing is super toxic. But So on this one I put yesterday, and I've been still watching this Newcastle After Dark. I just love those guys. I really like them. They're so, I think they're informative, but I don't know. I just like their little persona that they got going, and they have so much information. And I love the old movies, Vincent Price and Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. That was like my jam when I was a little kid. I would stay up late at night by myself. I was the oldest. And I just got a completely creepy vision. It was this house that we lived at, and my dad creeping around. I don't like to think about that stuff. He was very creepy. Sometimes, even when I'm talking, and I just see the big, I think it's this direction, a big across my face where the chair hit. It's just a reminder, sometimes when I'll watch a video or something, I'll just keep seeing that and keep seeing it. Like I've talked about before, it really stands out to me. So and I've had so many people be talking to me, and they'll be like, what's that big lump on your head? Why do you have a big lump on your head? And I just wonder what my dad ever noticed. But he spent most of his life drunk, so I don't know. But anyways, and that's a shame, I feel bad for people who are in that state of mind that they can't get themselves out of it. It's a trap. It's a prison. It's holding them in, They don't have enough power, enough strength to fight their desires or fight their like addiction. Like I just look at it differently. The labels and stuff. It's like, I've got an addiction. I still haven't finished the other one, but I saw a girl, I might be the same girl, but she talks, because I have a bad thing with remembering faces. So I can see somebody, like when I was doing tattoos, I'd be tattooing somebody, and if I wasn't looking at their face, like I'm tattooing their back, then they would start talking to me, and they turn around every time. They look different. It was like seeing a new face every time. It was so trippy. But anyways, so I don't know if it's the same girl. I kind of think it is, just because of the topic or subject matter or something. But she's always just really struggling with, I'm an addict. I'm an addict. I could lose it at any moment. I could just, and it's like, oh my God, what a sad thing to feel that way, But that's what labels do. They give you traps. They trap you in to how you feel about yourself. But so this one girl who was commenting on mine, so I'm watching these old movies, right? And yesterday I was watching The Man with X-Ray Eyes, and there was this scene where, I just love the music too. That's when I learned to dance, was back then, And my mom had a record player, and she'd turn on these old 45s and all these old songs and stuff, and I would watch the beach movies, and that's when I start dancing. That's how I was learning how to dance. And then my friend Teresa taught me how to keep the beat. So I didn't know how to do that so well. And anyways, so this girl, there was this dance scene, and oh my God, the clothes, everybody's just dressed so cool, and all the men have jackets and ties, and everybody just looks so stylish, and I miss that kind of look, and then the music and just their whole way, and the way everybody's just free, how they're just dancing, they're just all dancing, and so I shared that. I was like, oh my God, I love old movies. How can you not? The only fucking comment that I have gotten so far, there could be more sometime. TikTok's weird because it's like billions. Like you have to go through, that's why people swipe, because there's billions. So sometimes, you have something and it'll take weeks to get, like it'll just keep going up, views. And, but the only comment so far is because of the lack of diversity. Because I said, I love old movies. How can you not? Because of the lack of diversity. Oh my God. This society is so fucking brainwashed. So fucking brainwashed. It's so fucking mental. Like, this is actually the zombie apocalypse. People just don't, people think because people aren't eating each other, You know, but it is. It is. People are not thinking for themselves. Their brains are taken over by a system. It's not even by another person. It's by a goddamn system, a group of people, a fucking table. You know, when they show some of those old movies, like a Matt Damon, go fucking watch one of his movies and you'll see this kind of shit. Because some of these people, like this morning I saw an ad thing right when I got up, you know, I turn on the TV, and there's always, that's where they'll leave me messaging and usually the messaging is always confirmation what they're telling me in my head. They'll tell me something and then they'll leave me a message and I'll look at it and then it will say exactly what they said. So this one, when I got up, what was my question? I was still laying in bed and I asked them a question. I said, why is this going on? Why is this taking so long? What? And it said hope. I said, hope? Like, yeah, so we can learn about hope. And I was like, oh, this is making my nose all tingly. Like, I feel like I'm about to cry. But yeah, it was about, so we can, well, not everybody, I mean, but some people, is learning about hope, how to have hope. Even when things just seem dark and dismal, you know, hope is what gets us through. And I was like, oh, it makes so much sense. Yeah, I can see that. So yeah, I get it with the hope. And, but what was I going to say? There was something else before I said about the hope. Well, anyways, I'll just go back. Maybe I'll catch it on the rebound. But anyways, the people who they are so, the Matt Damon, yeah, the movies where they have, I swear I saw this movie. I've seen several like it, but it is like a group of old men that are sitting at a table deciding who's going to be what, where they're going to get this. You know, they are deciding people's future. You know, we're the scrap metal out back. They don't care. We're out in the long pasture. It's the people that can do something for them. And so this morning, yeah, when I looked at that thing, it was The Rock, garbage person. When I look at The Rock, I see desperation. I mean, it so, like, I'll do anything to have people worship me and admire me, idolize me. I want to be idolized. That is what I see when I see him. It's just like, I'll do anything to be an idol. And it's like, that's really gross. Really, really gross. Especially, you know, him, Matt Damon, coming out. You're not a fucking doctor. Don't be telling people what to do with their bodies. You stupid ass. And the other person who was with, I used to like this guy when he very first came out. He was in Moonlighting. And I thought he was like a different kind of character. He was different than other characters that were out back then. And it was a show with Sybil Shepherd and him. And he was really funny. He was cute. He was a good character. And then, I don't know. A lot of people come into the acting and stuff. And then it seems like, you know, that they will put you where they want you, but there's certain places that they put you that they think that you owe them or something. I don't know. I don't know how all that system works. I just know it's seedy as fuck. But then, you know, and then some of these couples too. Some of these couples are all about handlers and stuff. It's weird. And like you have somebody with you that's a part of the system, and then they direct you into how you need to be. So, you know, you don't even know what relationships are even real. Like, are they based on love? Do these people even love each other? No wonder there's so many of these relationships that broke up. I mean, back in the day, that was always a thing. There's, you know, an actor would be like, oh, I'm getting married. And everybody would be like, who cares? How long is that going to last? A couple weeks. Nobody ever gave any, like, longevity. Like, everybody made a big old deal about, like, oh my God, Paul Newman, he's really stayed married a long ass time. He's a miracle, Hollywood miracle. But that's what it's been. But, so this one, he was married to Demi Moore, and I don't know why I can't think of his name. God, it's just totally going out of my head. But He's also bald, carrying a gun, and he's gonna, fight everybody, shoot them, and Die Hard guy, the guy from Die Hard. It's them two as cops. And it's just like, who, how are they making, I don't know, there's just so much that is so irritating about it. Like, I don't understand. The whole world's closed down, but let's make some fucking movies. Well, no, we all can't go out and live our normal lives. And I saw a short today, so it was on here. And it was, in the short section, it was the first one when I was looking down the thing. And normally I would never go in and look at something like this. But for some reason, I just was curious. So I went in and looked. And it's supposed to be, there's a whole bunch of kids dancing, like a dance class. And one of them's Brad Pitt's kid and Angelina Jolie's kid. And, but you can't see any, who's who, because they all have these on while they're motherfucking dancing. Oh my God. My comment was like, when you are exercising, you're supposed to be able to breathe. That's ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I can't even believe. Like, even somebody who, if you're a dance teacher and you are telling, and this was not just like, this was hardcore dancing, like they were doing some sort of hip hop dancing. So they're jumping around, they had to be. And I'm surprised that some of them don't fall down and fucking faint. It's because they're young, and, some of them, maybe they're used to, my one daughter who's so, she told me she's gone out and jogged 5 miles, and I was like, oh my fucking God, are you kidding me? That is not, germs are just not in the air. You don't need to fear there's just germs in the air. It's like, oh my God, I wish people would look into stuff and understand stuff. I wish people just didn't blindly follow whatever they're told. That's the zombie apocalypse. It's this mindless following. Whatever you say. It's like, oh, okay, I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to, does this feel right? Does this sound right? Does this seem right? Is this logical? Like, what has happened to people's critical thinking? They're turning everyone's brains off and the connection to spirit. So, turn this off, give us your brain, and, forget about this part. Hot doesn't even exist. So, I don't know. It's so frustrating. I don't know how you can watch people dancing and having fun and beautiful music and beautiful scenery, and you're counting. Is there someone who's Chinese? Is there it's like, what? And maybe it's because I'm old and I grew up at a time when, there wasn't all diversity in movies, but it wasn't something that, that we were looking at. It was just fucking a movie. It was just entertainment. I didn't know all the goddamn rules and laws and all that stuff. And who wanted to see a black person come in the movie if they were going to make them look foolish? And that is what happened a lot of times, but it was that actor who allowed that. I've talked about this before. Like, if somebody said, hey, Kelly, we're going to put you in a movie and, you're going to be, super seen in this movie, but you're going to play a tattooed drug addict, prostitute, I'd say, no, thank you. I'm good on that. I'm not going to go out and get that just gives all people with tattoos, it puts that in people's minds. Oh, they're all prostitutes. They're all, it's part of the stereotyping. So those people allowed some of this stuff to happen. That was part of how all of humanity had to grow. Like, we're in a process. People want to focus on this and this and this. This is a fucking process for all humanity, for the collective, for all of us to learn. And all these people who say, oh, the world's not changing. I'll have this argument with my kids sometimes because they're from a different generation. I see things from a much broader perspective. I've lived a lot more time. I've seen how things have changed. And plus, I notice that stuff. I pay attention. Most people don't pay attention to anything. They pay attention to what, they're being told. And most of it is all about what you need to be mad about and who you need to judge. And they give you all the words, the trigger words, boom, 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 you know? It's just as mental. But yeah, things have been changing. Things have been growing. People have been changing. Things that were once acceptable are no longer acceptable. And, you know, I mean, yeah, if you're just focused on like, well, there's not enough black people in that movie, I can't enjoy it, then, you know, I don't know what to tell somebody. Like, it's so far beyond my scope of understanding that it kind of blows my mind. Like, how can you not enjoy things just because of that? I'm about to have a coughing fit, so I'll be right back.